What is going on, gentlemen, ladies, lady? I know 4% of y'all might be ladies. How's it going this evening?
That would be ladies. That would be more than one lady.
Yeah, it's true. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Just getting ready to talk about some movies.
Yeah, October's here too. I think this is by far my favorite month of the year.
Yeah, because you're a heathen and you don't think Christmas is the best holiday.
No. Halloween is my Christmas, and you're a I don't know, a traditionalist, and that Christmas is your favorite holiday.
Oh, dude, I love Christmas. Like I will watch every bad, awful, unenjoyable Christmas movie and enjoy every second of it.
Would you say millennials are more into Halloween than Christmas? Is that a millennial trait?
I think it's a social media millennial trait. You know,
yeah.
it's to say that, but I think everyone secretly loves Christmas because you have to. Because
you calling me a liar then?
Yeah, you have to. If not, you have no soul. That's the rule.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. What about Jewish people? Oh,
not even that. I was going to make a really off-color joke. Like, it's 2020. The humor might be lost on people.
It's getting hot in here already. What's up, everybody in the chat? So glad you guys stopped by. Before we do get into this, what's up, German Rifters in the chat? Before we do get into this, I did want to say that last time I got a little preoccupied with what was going on in the chat, so I'm still going to be able to check in with you guys periodically, but we're going to try to keep it on track because Caleb mentioned it, and it's absolutely true. Being present is the most important part of podcasting.
Yeah, you gotta be in the conversation.
Yeah, between running OBS, as we were just talking about, between running OBS, watching the chat, and looking at the notes and trying to have a conversation, it's amazing that I'm able to stay on track as well as I am because I
cannot even stay on track, and all I do is talk on this show.
That's fair. That's fair. I get it.
I derail everything, even your movie trivia on Uncut. That shit gets derailed.
Oh, dude, speaking of movie trivia, I'm really glad you brought that up because as we were just talking about, it is October, and that means that Movies Are Terrible is going to be celebrating in style with a bunch of horror-related content. So each week, starting on the 9th, I'm going to be hosting another episode of Terrible Movie Trivia. Each of them is going to focus on a different movie monster, and each of those is going to have a corresponding video that goes along with it. They're not going to be traditional reviews, but one week I'm doing vampires, one week I'm doing werewolves, one week I'm doing zombies, and then on the final week I'm doing ghosts. So I'm going to talk about a couple movies in each genre.
For the trivia, you're doing trivia on all these?
Yes, as well as doing a separate video.
You better bring me on for zombies and werewolves.
I was going to ask.
My favorite horror film of all time.
The original one?
Hell yeah.
Whoa, that's a throwback. I mean, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. So yeah, we'll do that. I was going to ask you if you were down to do some. You turned up for the X-Men trivia, man. You
know I'm always down. I got movie knowledge, even though I talk a lot of shit and make a lot of jokes.
Yeah, you do. You do, 100%. And that's part of the reason why we know each other. It's definitely the reason why we met. I don't think it's why we continued to talk with each other because I know a lot of people who love movies that I don't do podcasts with.
Yeah, it's just we have that raw sexual chemistry.
Yes.
That's why we continue to talk.
I'm glad you said that, man. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you're right. You're right. Shout out to my patrons, everybody that's supporting the Movies Are Terrible YouTube channel on Patreon. That's German Rifter VR, Ryan Neal, Matt Lane Fitness, Mark McKeever, Brad Feddick, and Daryl. I really appreciate you guys. Y'all are my first, and as of right now, my only patrons, but it's super cool that y'all are supporting small YouTube channels and small content creators, so I really appreciate that. Not just that, though. Shout out to the mods and everybody that's in the chat right now. You guys are the reason why this podcast exists. I mean, the community, like having a successful YouTube channel. Brad Feddick and Daryl. Whoa! I really appreciate you.
All of a sudden, I'm hearing you again.
Where's that coming from?
Reverb.
Patrons, but it's super cool that you're supporting small YouTube channels.
I don't want to hear myself. That's embarrassing.
Content creators.
Okay.
So I really appreciate.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of like Inception going on.
I was doing really good too there for a minute with my engineering, but it all fell apart.
Good thing chat wasn't going. You weren't looking at chat. The whole thing would have fucking crashed.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, yes, thank you to the community. You guys kick ass. I really appreciate it. I see those of you that stop by, and it really does mean a lot. So I did just want to take a second to say thank you to you guys. Also, I've mentioned it a couple times before, but I'm so bad at promoting myself. I figured I'd just get it all out of the way up front. There's a P.O. box that if you want to send me or Caleb anything, preferably like not anthrax. If you're going to send me any sort of white powdery substance, there's bound to be something better than anthrax. But I'm going to...
Battery acid.
I'm going to leave the link down in the description. There's no sense in reading it out to you guys, but there will be a link to the P.O. box down in the description. And I did just now mention we're going to be talking about some horror movies. We've got a lot of horror movie topics to discuss on this show, so we're going to go ahead and get started in just a moment. But before we do, I wanted to ask you, did you hear that Jamie Foxx is returning to Spider-Man 3?
So Tom Holland Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, because as Electro still, though, right?
I don't think that's confirmed.
Oh, okay.
But
I was very confused.
That's the speculation. That's what we're operating under, the assumption that it is a Electro return. Like, it's so weird that they would go that direction, bro, because nobody likes that movie and nobody liked that character.
Yeah, that's very weird. But there's a lot of weird stuff going on with Spider-Man. The story I sent you today, the video game Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that in just a minute. Let's keep that one in the back pocket because I actually was curious about that as well. But there's a lot of multiverse stuff going on between Into the Spider-Verse, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, the potential, Jake Gyllenhaal claimed to be from a multiverse as Mysterio and Homecoming. So I feel like that whole thing is opening up, while at the same time, DC and Warner Brothers are doing that kind of same thing with the Flashpoint. What is your feelings on the multiverse?
I think multiverse works fine in comics. I think it does not work for general audiences, and it's just going to confuse people. I can't tell you how many people right now I personally know outside of like our movie bubble who are so confused about Batman and who is the Joker, and people still think Jared Leto's the Joker, like people who weren't plugged into all this.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't like multiverses because it just, to me, it gives the screenwriters, same with time travel, it gives the screenwriters the ability to just do anything and justify it any way they want to.
That's kind of comics in general, though.
That's fair.
I love comics, but that is.
That's 100% valid. I just do it if all of the movies start doing it, then the novelty's really not there for me anymore.
It's kind of just like the shared universe thing that like even MCU and all that did at the beginning. Now that everyone's doing a shared universe, I'm just so sick of it. I'm like, I just want to watch one movie or two movies.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch 45 movies to understand my one movie.
So in a way, Warner Brothers has kind of taken note as far as that goes, and it seems like a lot of their movies are more in the standalone realm these days.
Yeah, which I'm very excited about.
Bro, that's the first time I nailed the word realm on the first try.
What do you normally say? Realm?
A realm? Yeah, dude, exactly. Like 2 syllables. I don't know how it happens. It looks like we got a birthday in the chat. Happy birthday, Tony Stark, the man, the myth, the legend.
It's the actual Tony Stark.
We got Tony Stark in the chat, and we have Patrick Stewart in the chat.
I would tell Tony Stark to go have a drink for his birthday, but that's probably not good.
Yeah, well, yeah. Mr. Stark has historically not always done the best with alcohol. That's a good point. All right, well, yeah, so I'm not stoked about, I like Jamie Foxx so much, dude. He's super talented, but I don't know about all this. That's not what I wanted out of Spider-Man 3. I wanted a Kraven the Hunter movie.
A Kraven movie would be super cool. I mean, what I always wanted to see, but they're going to do it in a different way. I always wanted to see a Morbius movie with him as the villain, not like a movie.
Yeah.
Like a Spider-Man movie with him. I always thought would have been cool.
Morbius is a character, very 90s character as well. I collected all of the Morbius, the living vampire from that run.
100% 90s. That and the TV show that he was like a big part of.
Yeah.
I remember that arc was amazing.
Didn't he like suck blood through his hands?
Hell yeah. That's the only way to suck blood.
That's a good point. I really didn't think about it in that terms.
I think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I think the reason they did that, I think that is in the comics. And it's because at the time they weren't allowed to like show people biting people on the neck.
Yeah. Tyler Adams also has a birthday, and I knew that. Tyler Adams turned 34 today. Happy birthday, my man.
Happy birthday. That's me, 34.
Tyler is incredibly talented. He's the person that does all of the like the 3D rendered CGI intros to Holden's videos. I'm really excited about something that he's got in the works that I can't wait to show you, man. But you're gonna love it. He's cooking up some cool graphics for us, so I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product there. But yeah, happy birthday, man. Glad that you stopped by to do this. Mark McKeever asked if it's a Sinister Six setup. Electro, I guess, is one of the Sinister Six, so I could see that.
Could be. Yeah, that actually is a very good point.
Jared Leto's Morbius is coming soon. Yeah, I'm curious about it. I don't necessarily know if I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm not. Sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes I like villains just letting him be the villain.
Yeah.
I felt Venom fell into that weird struggle where it was trying to make him a good guy. And I'm old school Venom. I like him being a villain.
Oh, yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. But I don't know if I 100% agree with you because Lethal Protector is probably my favorite Venom story. It's the 6-part miniseries that came out 93 or something like that. So I was a fan of that.
They started to do the anti-hero thing. See, I liked him when they went full monster a little bit later than that.
Yeah.
And he was complete monster, almost like the Thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They really made him into a true monster. That was my favorite era.
So not the Thing from Fantastic Four, the Thing from the John Carpenter movie.
Yes.
So talk to me about the Spider-Man game, man. What's going on there?
So Spider-Man, if anyone's played it on PS4, is getting, not only are they doing a Miles Morales standalone / DLC weird thing on PS5, they are remastering Spider-Man, the first game, for PS5. Standard stuff. They're using all new high-res textures. You can see Doc Ock clearly got a haircut. It's a different hair on his head. The big thing is they swapped out the face of Spider-Man, of Peter Parker. He now, in my opinion, looks very similar to Tom Holland. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but it's kind of jarring when you've played a game and it's the same voice, it's the same actor, and they literally just put a new head on that body.
Well, how does it hit you? How do you feel about it?
I don't like it, but that's just because I like that character.
Yeah.
And my big gripe is he looks really, really young. And in that version of it, he is an older Peter Parker and he mentors Miles Morales. So you now have a Miles Morales game where he looks, honestly, Miles probably looks older than Peter, even though Peter's supposed to be older in college.
Yeah.
He's doing some things. So now you're it just looks like two teenagers. I feel like the interaction where he tries to be mentoring to him will just come off awkward and stiff because you're they both look like kids.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. If you're 25 years old, I'm still gonna call you a kid. So you know what I mean? I'm that old now where I'm yeah, damn
just all
kids.
kids.
Yeah. I can't tell the difference between a 16-year-old and a 25-year-old. That's what I'm trying to say.
I call 30-year-olds kids a lot of times. Sometimes I call 40-year-olds kids. I don't know. It just depends.
Yeah, I'm with you. A lot of German Rifter just said great birthday week. Yeah, man, I think a lot of people are getting busy around New Year's. That's what I always say. I want to ask you guys real fast. I'm getting an error message on the stream. It's saying that it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So I want to ask you guys, how is the stream? Is it really glitchy? Is it lagging like crazy? Let me know. Let's see. Yeah, I'm worried about that. I was watching a buddy's stream last night and I felt so bad because there's nothing you can really do about it, other than just kind of hope it gets better. So with that said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about it if it is messed up, but you guys let me know. Stream is looking good. Thank you very much. Atlas Guitar in the chat. Mark McKeever in the chat. MN Comic Books in the chat. We got some Geisha Warrior, Ibahima Traori. I'm sorry, I know I butchered that, but Jim Loves Wrestling in the chat. Dude, you guys are so awesome. Thank you very much for stopping
Geisha
by.
Warrior is a dope name.
Yeah, it is. I'm a big fan of that name as well. So
Geisha Warrior sounds like a 90s comic book, speaking of.
Yeah, it does. Shy, SHI. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was a cool one.
That was a cool one.
That was a comic.
That was a comic. On our Halloween episode where all we've talked about is comic book movies.
All right, fine. I guess we'll move on. You're right. We got so much stuff to talk about. So we'll go ahead and transition into our first official headline. The Craft Legacy trailer was released. This is I don't know if it's a reboot. I don't know if it's a sequel, but there was a 90s movie that came out after Scream, and it's about three witches that end up recruiting a fourth girl. They're like a coven, and I don't remember it really, really well, but I know the bad witch's name was Nancy, and she was played by that girl that was in The Island of Dr. Moreau. I think she was in Cat People.
The girl who looks like a cat.
Yes, that's the one. So did you see the first one?
Went out long time ago, like preteen, whenever it came out, I saw it. Didn't make much of an impression on me at the time, but it could be great. I don't really remember it.
I see you, Patrick McCabe. I see you, Caleb Phantom, and I see you, Movie Clip Central. I apologize about that. I am not skipping you. I was just reading what was on there. Mr. Graham Crackers in the chat. What's up, you guys? So yeah, I don't know, man. I was a fan of the first one when it came out, but the clique of girls that were like, like there's the guy clique and then there's the girl clique that we all hung out together. The girls were like way too into it, and it kind of turned me off from it.
So that was my thing. Like, I've seen some backlash for the new trailer, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, it looks like a kind of a girl horror film, type of thing, like a teen girl horror film, which I kind of was always my interpretation of the first.
Yeah.
I thought that's kind of always what it was.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think you're right. Michael Granger, what's up, buddy? He says Feruza Balk, that is her name. She was gorgeous, man. She's a very, very pretty girl. I liked the first Craft. The 90s were so distinctively goth, like 9 Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson and the Smiths and all these like industrial and goth rock bands were super popular, and I really remember liking the soundtrack off of it. The song How Soon Is Now, I think is what it's called. It's by the Smiths. It was super cool, but yeah, I haven't went back and revisited the movie. I have a feeling it's really not good, but that's just the difference is like nowadays, when's the last time you heard somebody talking about like Wicca or something? You know what I mean?
Never. No, that was such a 90s thing. And I do think this is a sequel, because if you notice in the trailer, she finds a picture of the first girl.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
So I think of the cat face girl.
Oh, cat face.
Yeah, so I think it is a sequel, but no, like this is such a 90s sort of thing, like witches and goth and all that. It's not really a thing anymore. Like 90s was like The Crow just threw up on everything.
Yes, that's exactly right, dude. That's exactly right. There is a female director this time, which, I mean, at least there will be a little bit more of that perspective. I can appreciate the fact that at least they're giving it over to a female director, because it is, like you said, it's so female-centric that I feel like that's appropriate.
I don't know. I feel like I'm sure there's a ton of female movies. That was the first one directed by a man?
Yes.
Hey, well, he nailed that shit. Women love that movie.
It's a good point. Yeah, the girls that I was hanging out with, I don't think they gave a shit who the director was in the first place.
Most people don't.
No. The controversy with the super chat. Bang, bang. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate you stopping by. I really appreciate the super chat. I don't know, man. I did notice that there's like more period blood this time around than there was in the first one.
Was the first one a big thing of period blood?
There was no period blood in the first one.
No, I kind of wish there was a scene that was like The Shining in this one.
Yeah, it has a definite Carrie vibe this time around.
The one thing I did think, like, I don't know if it's just because of my memory when I was so young when I saw the other one. These girls seem way younger to me, but this just might be because we're old now.
Yeah, for sure that. But then again, the cast of Scream was probably, again, we can't tell the difference between adults and kids. They were probably 25 when that movie came out.
100%.
So I think that's
like,
pretty
these look like
standard.
actual little girls in the new trailer.
Jim Loves Wrestling with the super chat. Bang bang. Bang? Hope I did that right. That's fantastic. McLovin in the chat. What's up, dude? Happy that you moderators stopped by. McLovin, my Norwegian brother from another mother. I really leaned into the R's on that one. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, there was some hard R's in there.
Woof. All right, next story. HBO Hellraiser series, brought to you by Michael Dougherty, is like the executive producer on it. He directed Trick or Treat. I think he directed Cabin in the Woods. He did Godzilla King of the Monsters. And so he's doing a Hellraiser series. Go ahead.
Didn't he do Krampus too?
Yes, that's the one. I don't think that I was correct in the other one. I don't think he did Cabin in the Woods. I think that was Drew something. Drew Brees? Does that sound familiar? No, I'm just kidding. Drew something. Anyways, so I love Clive Barker, and they're now apparently on HBO having a Hellraiser series, and Michael Dougherty is going to be directing a Nightbreed series. Did you ever see Nightbreed?
Yeah, I loved it back in the day.
Oh, that's fantastic, dude. That's fantastic.
I'm assuming do you like it?
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, I love it. I love it, dude. When I saw the cover of it, there's like 10 monsters on the front of it. And I'm like, I'm in. And then Meridian, and I can never remember the name of all the monsters. There's that dude with like the moon face, but my favorite one was the one with like the crazy snake dreads.
Yes. God, I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Dude, I love it. I love it. I remember. Oh, German Rifter coming through with the super chat. Bang, bang, bang. Love it, dude. Thank you guys very much for the support. It really does mean a lot. Yeah, dude. Controversy. I see 3 bangs. Can we get 4? Can we get 4? Jeremy's getting banged up. Michael Granger with the super chat. Thank you very much, bro. Nothing in that one, but I really appreciate that. Man, you guys are coming through. That was a silent bang. That was. Yes, Drew Goddard. Thank you, Patrick. That is right. That's who directed Cabin in the Woods. Okay, so yeah, Nightbreed kicks ass. It's about a guy named Boone who is basically being gaslit by his psychiatrist because the psychiatrist is a serial killer, but he's trying to pin the murders on Boone because he's prescribing him with such heavy doses of medication, like Ambien. Good thing you didn't have a Twitter account, bro. You would be so canceled.
You would just say the most crazy, messed up shit. Because apparently Ambien just makes you a racist.
Yes, that's true, man. That is so true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited about the Nightbreed series. I feel like that story of the serial killers gaslighting him. Boone ends up getting murdered by the police after hearing about this legendary cemetery called Meridian where the monsters live. Stuff happens. I don't remember exactly how he ends up becoming one of the Nightbreed, but basically it's like the X-Men, but monsters instead.
Yeah, that's a perfect summary of it.
That's about right, huh?
Yeah, I love Nightbreed. I just also like the expectation. When I first saw the cover, I thought for sure like all the monsters were the bad guys.
Yeah, 100%. It does that thing where it's like, I know it's pretty cliche, but who's the real monster?
The real monster, yeah.
Jim Loves Wrestling with another super chat. Nightbreed is incredible. Hell yeah, dude. Glad to see there's some Nightbreed fans in the chat. Let's see. Oh, I hope your daughter's doing good with school, Tyler. You know, priorities, man. Go ahead.
Do you think they'll do it? Because the first one, I love it, but it's super campy. And I think Dougherty definitely is capable of doing that camp. Do you think that's kind of the angle they'll take, or do you think they're going to make it a lot more serious and straight?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. The way that television is nowadays, I imagine they're going to go the super serious route.
Yeah, I that's what I was thinking too, because I feel like they flipped. Movies are like campy and fun now, and television serious.
Yeah. Unless it's a comedy, every show seems to be heavily leaning into the drama and the kind of darkness of it, which I like.
Yeah, me too. That's the type of stuff I love. I love depressing stuff.
McLovin coming through with the super chat. Before I leave, love, have a great stream. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I know it's a lot later over there in Norway than it is here, which is why I want to start doing Saturday streams. So that's something I'm considering. You guys let me know if that would be something you're interested in. We could probably do it midday sometime, or I could probably do it midday, Caleb, if he's available. And that way, those of you guys that are in completely different time zones will be able to kind of hang out with us. All right. So what about Hellraiser?
I never was a Hellraiser fan.
What?
No, never did anything for me.
So you've seen all of them?
I think the first 3.
Okay, yeah, you've seen the good ones. Well, even that's relative. The third one's shit. Remember, dude? He like shoots CDs out of his face. Remember that guy?
Literally, it's one of those things like had no effect on me, those films, when I saw them, to where I don't remember really any of them. I just remember not liking them. But they could be great now. I don't know. I haven't seen them in so long.
Random Andy's channel, $5 super chat. Not feeling great, but quickly showing up to show some support. Love you, Jeremy. Bye and peace. Love you too, Andy. Hope you get to feeling better, man. That's tough. Tis the time of year that people's allergies start getting with them. So get to feeling better, bro. I really appreciate the super chat and just stopping by to say what's up. That means a lot. Hellraiser is awesome, Mr. Graham Cracker. I don't know what this dude's talking about. The Clive Barker actually directed Nightbreed and Hellraiser.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty unusual.
I didn't know he actually directed anything.
Yeah, oftentimes, let me double check Nightbreed real quick. Oftentimes you don't see the authors of the book being the ones that are actually responsible for directing the films, but I figure he probably understands the source material pretty well. Actually, Hellraiser is based on a novella called The Hellbound Heart. Yeah, both are directed by Clive Barker. The Hellbound Heart is it's pretty much Hellraiser, only Pinhead is not a male in the novella. It's the lead Cenobite is female. It's a cool story?
I mean, it's the same thing with a different gender.
I think they needed to have a male slasher villain. You know what I'm saying? It was like in the 80s, so they wanted to like get the next iconic movie monster, you know?
I feel like they probably missed an opportunity. I mean, I feel like at that time, I get it was a different time, but if you dropped a female creepy slasher, like that would have really stood out from everyone.
That's a really good point. It seems, yeah, that's a really good point. It actually would have been the thing that separated it from the others instead of just kind of falling in line with the trends. It's an old movie, Geisha Warrior. It's from like probably 1986, something like that. And there are several sequels. The second one was called Hellbound, and Chrissy actually followed Pinhead and the Cenobites into hell with the little puzzle box. I really like that concept. I really like the whole like S&M, pleasure and pain existing together kind of stuff. The practical effects are really good in the first one. So this is another one I'm probably... I don't even want to say I'm equally excited for it. I'm honestly more excited for Nightbreed. However, I'm also really excited about Hellraiser.
Yeah, Hellraiser I personally won't watch. Nightbreed I'm super excited about, though.
Yeah. I don't know what network that one's coming on. I think that we're going to get an HBO Hellraiser, so you know that they're going to, pull out all the stops for that.
Yeah, it'll be high budget. It'll probably be honestly, it'll probably be better than the movies.
Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the live. Geisha Warrior says, I'm enjoying this live. We appreciate it. We do it every Thursday, 6 p.m. CST. So if you ever want to stop by, we would love to chat movies with you. And speaking of which, we've got so many movies to go ahead and jump into. Because as you guys know, 2020, a lot of plans have been put on hold, and I've got an entire list from Screen Rant called Every 2020 Horror Movie That Should Have Been Released by Now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each and every single one of these, and we're going to have an in-depth discussion. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to quickly graze over this list, and we're going to kind of just give our temperature on which of these we're excited about, which of these we don't really care about. But speaking of Clive Barker, Candyman, the 2020 version, was supposed to be released.
I totally forgot they were making that until you sent me this list.
What do you think?
I'm really excited for it, and this is something that I think we've actually talked about before. Candyman's my blind spot. I've never seen Candyman.
Ooh, interesting. That's
so
one
I
of
should
my
watch
favorites.
it this year.
Yes, you should. And we've talked. If we've had the conversation, I love that movie.
You love it, yeah.
And it's really going to be difficult to recapture that. I mean, the thing about Candyman is there is a lot of Let me white-splain racial relations to you. No, that's not the point. There's always going to be subtext to mine from. It was about projects, and Cabrini Green was like one of the most crime-ridden projects in the early 90s. Gang turf wars and just like gang-related crime in general was a big thing at that time in the 90s. So they were able to kind of delve into a lot of that, which Clive Barker's Candyman is actually in England, and it's not an African-American. So they changed, well, obviously it's not an African-American in England. But
I heard on a tangent, I remember I was watching an interview with someone, and someone said, British African Americans, but I thought it was the funniest thing. Like, those are not African Americans; they're British.
No, that was real dumb on my part. I'm excited about it, but I guess what I was trying to say is, at first I'm like, I don't know if they can recapture that thing, kind of like The Craft. But I look at race relations in the world right now; they've got all sorts of avenues that they could explore with it.
Here's the thing, is calling it right now. People hate this movie. Not hate it, but there's a backlash for it being quote unquote woke. But it sounds like that's kind of what this series has always dealt with, socio-political issues.
It has.
So it sounds like it'll be in the same vein.
So Nia DaCosta is going to be directing it. It was originally supposed to drop 15 days from now, October 16th, but now it's been postponed to 2021. So Tony Todd is going to be making a comeback, but I don't think he's going to be playing Candyman, but I don't want to get into spoilers. I might have ideas about the way that all plays out. But the next one on the list is Chris Rock's rendition, Chris Rock's take on the Saw franchise. It's called Spiral.
So is this an actual sequel? What is this? This is something that I have no idea about.
They're calling it the 9th installment into the Saw franchise. Yeah, however, it's also a different take on it. It's Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. It definitely looks like they're kind of leaning into the Seven vibes of it. But Chris Rock approached the studio and was like, hey, I've got an idea for a Saw movie. And Saw's one of those franchises, bro, that I could not give a shit about.
Dude, so I'm the other way. I actually really don't like the Saw films.
Don't like them? No, we're on the same page.
Yeah, like I'm like this past point of caring. I'm like, I just don't get it. You know?
So you didn't like the first one?
I saw the first in theaters and was like, and everyone was enjoying it, and I'm like, I'm broken because I don't like this at all. And then my friends talked me into seeing the second one in theaters. I saw it, and then I think I saw the third, like on DVD with some friends. And I didn't like a single one of them.
Yeah, you made it past me. I saw the first and the second one. I actually do like the first one. I mean, the acting is terrible in it, but like it's got a kind of Seven-ish vibe. I like the moralistic killer who's kind of teaching people to appreciate life or whatever. That's it's kind of a cool idea. I enjoyed it, the traps and all that. But then the second one was just so outrageous. I remember at one scene, this like big buff dude is fighting with a girl, and he like throws her into a pit of fucking dirty hypodermic needles. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
That's ridiculous, man. What a stupid movie. But I'm gonna be honest. That said, I'm excited to see Chris Rock's take on it, because Chris Rock is fucking awesome. I think he's one of my favorite stand-ups, you know?
And from just what I was reading on it literally right now where you were talking, it sounds like, yeah, it's like from the cops' perspective more.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of what they sound like what they were supposed to do with Spawn, whatever that ever happened to, where it was supposed to be on the police side, you know, chasing Spawn.
Yeah.
Kind of what this sounds like.
Yeah, that's actually a really good comparison. I like that. And I think that could breathe a little bit of life into it. I'm calling it right now. The killer is a police officer. Wait, the killer's probably Jigsaw. What do you think?
Yeah, the killer's Jigsaw, or plot twist. It's just Chris Rock, and it really throws you for a loop.
Calling the twist ending right now. Watch that be it, man. He's like, I got a really great idea for Saw. I'm the killer.
That was his whole pitch.
The Forever Purge. Please continue to make Purge movies. They're not all the fucking same.
So I was one of those people that I loved the first Purge. Like everyone was like, it's bad. I was like, I liked it.
I like it all right.
And then I saw the second. I enjoyed it.
I like it all right. I never
saw another.
Did
you see the third?
I did. I think I've seen the fourth. I think I've seen all of the Purge.
There's four of them
movies
already?
So there's the Purge 2, the Purge Anarchy, and the first Purge.
First Purge. And then there's a Purge TV show.
I haven't seen any of that. Have you?
No, I'm just kind of over it at this point.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those series that has a great premise that they've never really nailed.
It has such a good premise, and the first time I was kind of into it. The second time I thought it was kind of interesting. They had some, some light political themes, and the second more that wasn't too in your face. And I found it interesting, but then it's campy, but not in a way that I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like they're kind of just like really, really grim action movies that are just very hit you over the head with the same political idea over and over and over again, which I can buy into because we've talked a little bit. Like, I love that. Like, Marxism is an idea that I romanticize in my head. I kind of like the idea that the wealthy and the elite are using it as a means of, keeping people oppressed and all that kind of stuff. But they got to bring something a little bit different to it. They can't just keep doing the same thing.
I agree 100%. Like, it's just beating a dead horse at this point.
Yeah. All right, so there's another movie coming out that's produced by Guillermo del Toro. It's called Antlers. Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yes, it looks incredible.
It does look good, and I've always had a fascination with the Wendigo, so I'm looking forward to this.
And Scott Cooper, the director too, he's a pretty solid director.
Wait, what has he done?
He did Black Mass. He did
that was good.
Hostels with the guy who played Batman, like Christian Bale.
I hadn't seen that one.
He did. It's solid. It's not amazing. And he did Crazy Heart, which is a solid movie.
Yeah, that is the country singer played by Marble Mouth Jeff Bridges. That's what I'm trying to say. Dude, I'm all for that. And I actually read Antlers not too long ago. I don't even know if it's called Antlers. I feel like it is, but it's like it's an essay. It's probably, I don't know, 2,000 words or something. It's tiny. You know what I mean?
Oh, I should read it then, because I'm still trying to finish Do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, because my daughter won't let me read anything.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
So maybe this would be something I could actually knock out while she's sleeping in like one sitting.
What's up? A Day to Die For is here in the chat. Hey, how you doing? Glad you stopped by. Yeah, I liked the story, the short story, and I feel like it's got very creepy potential, but they're gonna have to really, really, really build up some character stuff, because the story has none of that in there, and to get to a 90-minute movie or whatever, they're gonna have to really lean into the characters, because I want to care about what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I hope from the director, from the producer, I think they're going to do something interesting with it.
Yeah. I mean, anytime I see Guillermo del Toro attached to something, I get a little bit excited, and sometimes I'm let down, but it just seems like a good genre movie. Let's hope it goes for the R rating, which I think it is. And it was
and I think you're the same way with me. My criticism and my critique of horror film, I set the bar a lot lower. I just do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know what I'm getting into. So I'm okay with like a mediocre horror film. That's kind of what I expect, and sometimes that's actually what I want out of them.
Yes, I'm the same exact way. And there are people who make the very valid point that good horror movies can be just as good as other movies, and that's absolutely true. You look at a movie like Hereditary or whatever movie you like. What's a movie?
Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah. Rosemary's Baby. And so they can definitely reach the heights of or Exorcist. They can definitely get to be high quality movies. But that said, I can have fun with a dumb horror movie like Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. That's a movie I really enjoy that I completely acknowledge ain't great.
I have not seen that in ages.
Yeah, check that out. Get back to me on it. I'm curious what you think about it.
I loved it at the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you got old Billy Zane. How can you not like it?
Yes. So The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. What do you think?
There's been one good Conjuring movie, so I'm over it.
I liked the first two. The second one just had so much shit going on.
Yeah, the second I hate it.
Did you
Honestly, I
really?
love I like the first a lot. The second I was just not feeling it, not vibing with it.
I really like the set piece with the painting and the shadow.
I could see that. It's I don't know. The Conjuring I like the first. I think that's the one with the clap, the famous clap scene, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's great. I even liked, even though again, Annabelle, it's not good, but just all the nods to Rosemary's Baby. Like I was sold on that film.
That's a good point. Yeah, it definitely has some Rosemary's Baby illusions in it. And the one scene that's good is the elevator scene.
Oh, in Annabelle?
Yeah.
Yeah. And even the main character's name is Mia, as in Mia Farrow.
Ah, look at that. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I don't know, man.
It's a total love letter to it.
I'm burnt out on The Conjuring. I'm 100% with you, but if I'm not mistaken, this one's got a werewolf in it.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah, right? Just when you thought you were out, they pull you back in. A Quiet
Place. Did you ever
Place.
see The Nun?
Yeah, I did. It's shit.
How about what's it called part of this? La Llorona?
La Llorona. I did not watch that one. I couldn't. I started
it's part of this franchise though, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because that was the one I wanted to see just because in my household and my family growing up, that is a staple. Like you hear about that all the time. That is probably out of all like the legends that I'm aware of and the that's probably the one I'm the most familiar with.
Wow, dude, I'd never heard it until the movie.
Oh no, dude, it's standard growing up where I'm from. Like you hear about it all the time.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, La Llorona was like the thing I was really excited about, and then I just never watched it.
I know that there's actually, The Curse of La Llorona is the one Conjuring movie, and now there's one on Shudder called La Llorona, which is actual Spanish movie. I will probably give that one a shot before the Conjuring one.
I would much rather watch that.
Yeah. So what about A Quiet Place Part 2?
I love A Quiet Place.
I do too.
I could care less about A Quiet Place too.
Have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah, it looks really bad.
Oh, dude, I have to disagree with you there, man. I think it's definitely bigger. They've obviously done the sequel thing and went for the bigger budget, but that scene on the road and the things are running across the windshields is super creepy. And then I like the fact that Cillian Murphy's in it.
This looks like Alien 1 to Alien 2.
It's a really good point.
And I'm an Alien 1 fan. Still love Alien 2, but like that's the first was like slow and deliberate, and actually it's one of those ones that there are parts of it that are like campy, but overall it's actually a good movie.
Yeah.
This to me just looks like a horror film. Like I have to lower the bar and go, okay, I'm watching a horror film.
We'll see, man. I'm curious. I mean,
I hope I'm wrong.
The cast and crew are coming back, so I feel like it has potential. I'm calling it now. Cillian Murphy, bad guy. Who's the real monsters, Caleb?
It's Cillian Murphy, always, in everything.
Yeah, for sure. Except for, I think, 28 Days Later. But that's about it. Like, he was bad in Sunshine, right? Or ended up bad in Sunshine.
I never saw Sunshine, but I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I just watched the trailer, and I assumed he was the bad guy.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to the next one. I'm looking forward to that one. The Witches. Do you remember the Roald doll, The Witches?
Yes.
Did you like it?
If this is the one I'm thinking of, where they turn them into like mice and stuff. Really weird movie.
It is.
Loved it as a kid.
Yeah, I did too, man. And it's actually really creepy. The practical effects and the prosthetics are really good. It was a really interesting movie. So I guess Nicholas Roeg's 1990 dark fantasy movie, The Witches, is adapted from Roald Dahl's novel of the same name and was set to be entirely remade for 2020 with a socially relevant storyline. Okay, so they're redoing it. They are giving it a socially relevant storyline because it follows a young black boy and his grandmother in 1960s Alabama who encounter the Grand High Witch, played by Anne Hathaway. While there's no set date for the future, the production company anticipates a 2021 release. I love the cast.
I'm very torn on this. I love Octavia Spencer. Love. I will watch anything. I even liked Ma, or whatever it was, Mom or Ma, which wasn't even good just because of her.
I did too, man.
everyone hated it. I was like, I enjoy it.
That
She's
shit
great.
is funny in the like. It's not. I don't know. It might be supposed to be funny, but that shit
I
it
thought
was
it
very
was.
entertaining.
I thought it was supposed to be like tongue in cheek, and that's how I
Yeah,
watched it.
yeah.
And I thought it was supposed to be funny and campy. Maybe it wasn't, and then it's bad. But Anne Hathaway for me is like a deal breaker on almost everything.
What? Really?
Yeah, I don't think anything she's been in.
King of the Hills 34 in the chat. 150 for being tardy. Yeah, man. Pay the toll, bro. Pay the toll. Thank you very much for stopping by,
You gotta pay the troll
man.
toll to get into this boy's hole.
That's a thing. Yeah, dude. I'm always glad to see you in the chat, man. Always glad to see you in the chat. That's one of my homies. Let's see. Tyler says that The Witches was one of his favorite movies. Yeah, I remember really liking it as a kid. And I like Anne Hathaway, man. There's a movie called Colossal.
I was just gonna say, I think the only film that I do like of hers.
That's a weird one. I don't know if anybody
Colossal.
that's watching this right now has seen Colossal, but it's this really weird mix of like domestic drama and kaiju movie.
Yes, that's 100% what it is. It's like a dramedy kaiju movie, domestic. Yeah, it's a weird film, and it's incredible.
I don't know what the context is. Oh, okay. Graham Cracker said The Shape of Water was weird, and then he went on to say something about she fucked a fish monster, which is so funny that you say that because I'm literally working on a script for one of my vampire videos, and that literally comes up. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
You talk about fucking fish monsters?
Yeah, like literally almost the exact same joke. Let's see. This is
I love
good
Shape of
content.
Water, but it is
I did
jarring
too.
when she fucks that fish. You're like, whoa.
I don't even mind that she did it, but why they got to show it? You know what I mean?
And then they explain like how it opens up and it comes out. And I'm just like, that's a fact I didn't need to know about Fishman's junk.
Yo, that's Octavia Spencer, isn't it?
Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, the point is I make a similar joke where I say something about vampires being the sexiest and most seductive creatures, unless you're that lady from The Shape of Water, but she fucks fish, so who cares about her opinion? You know what I mean? Like something similar.
That movie I remember watching in theaters and being like, at that point, when it took that turn, it literally took me out of the movie for a moment. I was like, I don't know if I like this anymore.
I shouldn't have brought my mom to this movie.
and then we finished it, and me and my wife both loved it.
Yeah, it's a good one. Me and Victoria liked it as well. I know that we were probably both a little more open to it because of the fact that Del Toro directed it, and he's just so good. And I think it ended up winning Best Picture that year.
It did.
Look how progressive the Academy is, man.
And then remember the backlash?
No.
Yeah, there was a whole group of people who were like, another white man run. And I'm like, well, he's Spanish. He's Hispanic, but okay.
I thought you were talking about the fish. I'm like, dude, who cares what color he was under the cloaca?
He was green. How do you think that movie would have been if it was actually Abe Sapien and she was just banging Abe Sapien?
It would have basically been the exact same movie. Abe Sapien is a more attractive fish man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if I had to stick it to the fish monster, Abe Sapien's clearly
Abe Sapien can get it, dude. He's got sleeker skin and less scales.
Yeah, no, there's some smooth skin on there. That guy's never had to shave a day in his life.
Yeah. First super chat from Geisha Warrior. Thank you very much. She says, I like that you talk about horror films. We do. I love it. It's probably science fiction and horror are my favorite genres. I can't speak for Caleb, but go ahead.
I would say my favorite is easily sci-fi.
Yeah.
And then I kind of bounce around, but horror is definitely up there.
Yeah. I watched Veronica over the past couple of days. Veronica is Glenn Danzig's directorial debut, and it is a horror anthology based on a comic book, and it is not good at all, but I highly recommend it.
Veronica? Ooh, I'm just pulling it up.
Dude.
It doesn't look very good.
It looks like a porno that never gets to the reason why you watch a porno.
For the good acting. So it never
Yes,
gets to the good
correct.
acting.
Correct. The very sophisticated storylines. In the first segment, there's a girl and she's getting hot and heavy with a guy, and he takes her top off, even though she's real uncomfortable about it. And we realize that she's got eyeballs for nipples, and he's like, "You weirdo," and he leaves. And I'm like, man, that one
kinda
lady was
into it.
willing to have sex with a fucking fish monster, and you won't even give eye titties the time of day.
Dude, who wouldn't like that? I want some eye titties right now.
It's so silly looking, dude. There's this spider monster. Do you see any of the pictures of it? There's this spider monster.
I'm watching the trailer right now.
And he's got 6 arms, and the 4 bottom arms that aren't the actor's actual arms, they're just like prosthetics that are just like hanging there. You know what I mean? No animatronics or anything.
I thought you were gonna say they were like penises, the four bottom arms. Just the way this was going, I was like, "Whoa, this is."
It would
Dude,
not
looks
be out
horrible.
of
It looks like trauma.
Dude, it is so bad. It's so poorly lit. The sets look awful, to the point that I was kind of wondering, like, is the movie designed to be a Tommy Wiseau or a Neil Breen movie where it gains a cult following because it's completely incompetent and outrageously stupid?
I feel like it is designed to do that, but I hate when movies are designed to do that.
Yes, for sure. Jeremy got me triggered. Not the first or last time I will hear that statement. I apologize. Jim Loves Wrestling coming through with another super chat. Have you seen Society on Joe Bob Briggs, The Last Drive-In on Shudder? You know I have. That's a weird one.
I need to sign up for Shudder, man. I'm over here buying the movies.
Man, I got you,
You know,
bro. I
outright.
told you. I feel like I've tried to push my password and username on you, and you're just like, yeah, all right, dude, cool.
So no, you know what it is? This is really stupid. I'm really principled about, like, if I'm going to do something, I'll pay for it myself
Yeah,
because I want to support it.
yeah, that's good. That's the way to be. And it's a good price point at $4.99 a month. You really can't do better. And Joe Bob's The Last Drive-In it's just something I really like to watch. It's kind of like Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Did you ever watch Joe Bob on TNT when you were young?
Never even heard of Joe Bob.
He's a Texan late night horror host, cable access guy. And, you know, back in the 80s, things were very different. And his comic sensibilities haven't quite aged the way that you would have liked them to. I'm pretty sure people with the new standards of what is socially acceptable would be like, this guy's a dirty old man. And to them, I say he hasn't always been old.
He's just been a dirty man.
Yes. He used to just be a dirty man, and it wasn't so weird. Yeah. All right. What are we talking about, Caleb? What's going on? Let's see. Let me pull up a docket. Oh, shit.
I think next is Movie Club, unless there's another story that I don't know about.
Let's see if we can.
You do like to drop those, like, unannounced stories to me.
I don't think
You used
I
to do
have
that all
one.
the time on People Are Terrible.
Yes, I did. Because I keep looking, and I'm like, ooh, there's another one. But I think you are right. Let's look at the time. How long have we been going for?
Probably an hour.
Dude, that's a good internal clock you got there. We've been going for 54 minutes and 18 seconds. Try to keep them around an hour and 15 minutes. So I think this is probably a pretty good time to switch over to this week's Terrible Movie Club. And this week we watched a film called Daniel Isn't Real, which I watched on Shudder, and I'm assuming Caleb bought.
Yeah, I bought this.
Good choice.
I buy a ton of movies still. I don't know why. I should just pay for more streaming services.
So, all right. Here's the deal. Daniel Isn't Real is about a kid named Luke. As a child, Luke witnesses the aftermath of a crime, a terrible crime where a shooter goes into a cafe and just starts murdering people. Well, he walks by, and then we kind of fast forward to his young adult life. He had this imaginary friend that his mother made him lock away in this dollhouse. His mother's real sick with mental illness, maybe schizophrenia, maybe real bad bipolar disorder, something. She's not well. And in a way, I feel like this movie, similar to Lights Out or something, is very allegorical about mental illness and the way that it can take a toll on people's lives. But the imaginary friend ends up getting loose from this little dollhouse that he was being kept captive in, and he is kind of Luke's id, I guess. Would you say that's kind of a fair way of looking at it?
I would say that's a fair way of looking at it.
So he is, if Luke is repressed, Daniel is everything that he kind of would look as like alluring, right? He's very extroverted. He's very intelligent and clever and manipulative and always knows the right thing to say or do to get what he wants out of people, even though it's to his own end. What did you think about the movie?
So there were some things I really, really enjoyed right off the bat. I love the soundtrack of this film.
Yeah, it's really good.
Really good. The color grading is phenomenal throughout this film. Story-wise, there's things, I don't know how much we'll get into spoilers, but there is kind of a way that I didn't expect this to go that I really enjoyed. And overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was my problems with it were probably on the acting side,
Sure,
more than anything else. I felt like the acting was kind of sometimes a little cringy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I echo a lot of what you said. The score and the color grading are two things that absolutely grab me. I really like the premise of it, even though the kid with the imaginary friend is sort of a trope at this point, but I felt like they handled it well because it's not a kid anymore. It's actually a young adult dealing with this, part of his childhood, this childhood trauma that basically forces his way back into the kid's life. Tyler Adams, $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. He says, I worked on a low-budget New Zealand horror comedy film called I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. You might dig it. It's on Amazon and Tubi. Yeah, we're fucking watching that, Tyler. I appreciate you letting us know, dude.
I survived a zombie. I'm putting it in my phone right now.
I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. And New Zealand horror comedies are usually really good. I've seen, Deathgasm, and I'm not going to be able to think of the names of them right now, but I've seen a couple of really good New Zealand horror comedies. Obviously, What We Do in the Shadows, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm adding this to my list right now.
Well, there you go, Tyler. We will talk to you about it. Hopefully we'll see it over this week, and we can kind of come back and discuss it with you guys. However, in a book club, we're working under the assumption that you guys, later, Chief, glad you stopped by, man. Always a pleasure to see you. We're working under the assumption that you guys have seen this movie, so we're just going to talk candidly about it. Let's see. What do I want to get into first? I feel like the premise of the movie is basically hereditarily passing on mental illness, right?
Well, that's the so we're talking spoilers?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the fake out of the film.
Right, because it does go literal, but do you still think that the metaphor doesn't slide because of the swerve at the end?
Well, I mean, he literally does not have mental illness at the end of the film. His mom does, but he doesn't at all.
And that's an interesting thing because you're working under the assumption, because you're right. It's like his mom had it, so that means he must have it. However, his mom does have it and he doesn't, but then maybe he does, man. Why do you say he doesn't?
I mean, because he changes his face and the girlfriend sees the demon.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Dude, the special effects there were super cool. Like his face turns into putty and he's like reconfiguring it and he ends up turning into Daniel. I really like that.
Do you know what I kept thinking this whole time? Did you ever see Drop Dead Fred?
Yeah, I did.
I was like, this is horror film Drop Dead Fred.
That's a really good call. I can see that. I like Daniel's performance. I think he was the standout of the movie, but he's got a role that's very easy to dive into, I think.
You know what's amazing is I even liked the main character's performance when he was Daniel more than when he was Luke.
Yeah, dude, it's that character. Daniel just has swagger, and that's what makes, I think, a fun, almost like playing the Joker or something. You just know you'd have fun with it. Do you know who the two lead actors are?
No, I've never seen him in anything.
Luke is Tim Robbins' son.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah.
He actually looks a lot like him. His name is Miles Robbins, excuse me. And I think he's likable as Luke. I think he's pretty bland, but I didn't dislike him or his performance. It just feels like a very low budget independent movie that's cast with relative unknowns, and then you realize like, oh wow, these people are actually they're legacy celebrities, because the person who plays Daniel, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Arnie's son.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very random.
That is very random. That's what I said. It's not like he looks like him, but that's Maria Shriver and Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. I thought he was very good in the movie. He was a character that I really enjoyed in it. And then the mother is Mary Stuart Masterson from 12 Monkeys.
Oh, okay. She was good in it. She was by far the best part of it.
She was.
The worst part of it, and I don't think it was the actress. For me, it was the character, the love interest.
Yeah.
She was great in every scene for me. And it wasn't her. It was just the character. Like, that character, I wouldn't like her in real life either. Like, that's just who that character is.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. Yeah, the one of my big gripes is that when it shows the monster, it shows him too much. I did like a lot of the lighting and a lot of the color grading, but I felt like a little bit more should have been obscured in shadows because he was very latexy looking.
He was the scene where he's broad daylight in the house.
Yeah.
That was like, I liked most of it. I really liked the other monsters. They were really cool looking with like the goop coming off of them, like the spikes.
Yeah.
They were incredible looking. But even then, when they put them in the direct light, you were like, ugh. It did that thing that you see on the show Face Off, where you're like, oh, that's latex.
That is exactly what I was thinking. It's a good latex job, but it looks exactly like one of those sci-fi Face Off shows. Like maybe somebody that would have won.
I actually really like the design. I like the whole like asymmetrical design where it had the like spikes on one side, really cool. And then she sees like its aura and she paints it, and it was like a really cool design. But I do agree 100% if that's my horror philosophy in general though, show less, because nothing you can show me is going to be scarier than my own imagination.
So the ending is pretty inevitable. Like at that point, he'd already kind of crossed the point of no return as far as Luke because of what Daniel made him do. So like it ended the only way that it really could. What were your feelings on the ending?
So my ending, I didn't mind the very ending, them fighting with swords, with broomsticks that turned just to swords.
Yeah.
Jumped the shark way too much.
Oh, dude, I loved it because he was his childhood imaginary friend. I thought it was perfect.
I thought it was so dumb.
I get it.
That was the one scene I was like, oh, you lost me right here.
Yeah.
I like the actual ending though, where he dies and the monster still lives on.
So we're led to believe that Daniel, the monster, is this demon that hops from person to person, and that Daniel actually got the demon from the person who went on the shooting spree at the beginning. My interpretation of that is the guy had mental illness. He went in there, he shot the place up. Luke walks by, witnesses what happened. It does psychological damage to him that he carries with him. And the whole Daniel thing, it is literal within the context of the movie, but I feel like just as far as thematics that you can take away from it, not that it was the intention, but the fact that Daniel survives at the end, to me, just means that, like, just because Luke is gone doesn't mean that...
like trauma's gone.
Yes, right. Or that nobody else can be affected by it.
And I could definitely see that going that way. I read it totally different. I read it more as it's setting all of this up, these deeper themes, to literally throw it out at the end in hopes of getting a twist on you.
I never for a second doubted that Daniel was real.
I thought for sure at the end of the movie this would just be all in his head.
You know, Tim Robbins, his dad was in Jacob's Ladder, And I don't know if it's similar or not, but I kind of, when I was thinking about it, I was like, that's kind of a similar mindfuck vibe.
They have a Jacob's Ladder remake too that I've been dying to watch.
What?
Yeah, there's a Jacob's Ladder remake that it's supposed to be horrible, but I still kind of want to see it.
Oh yeah, dude. I had no idea that it came out, but I really do like that first one. It's again, it's a mind fuck when you finally get to the end of it and realize what's going on. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
On a number scale, like you know, I don't know, 10 or 5, where would you put this movie?
So out of 5, I think I'm giving Daniel Isn't Real a 3. Yeah, I think it maybe it's tough. Maybe a 3.5 even.
I was gonna be like, because I always got a 10. I was gonna say like a 6, 6.5. So I'm pretty right around where you're at.
Yeah, it sounds like we're on a pretty similar page. Like I don't know that I would recommend it to just anybody, but I would have definitely recommended it to you.
Yeah, I would have recommended it to you too. I'd be like, dude, check it out. It's a weird little film. Check it out.
Yeah.
And I guess this is enough of a glowing review of it. I don't regret my purchase. Like I bought this movie and I wasn't like, man, I can't believe I wasted money on that. Like I don't mind owning it. It's an interesting little film.
Do you think you'll go back and revisit it?
I never go back and revisit films. I don't know why I am. You know how many times I've gone back and watched one of my favorite films of all time, Blade Runner?
Huh.
2049? 0. I've not watched that film since it came out.
Ah, man, I've seen that one a bunch. Maybe
Because for me,
6
it's like
or
an
7
experience,
times.
and I'm like, that was my experience. Bought it the day it came out in 4K. Never watched it because it's like that. My experience was watching it in theaters, and then like that's it. That's where my head is.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I have a very difficult time remembering movies. I don't know if it's just because I watch them at such high volume, but if I don't see it a second time, I almost don't remember what the fuck happened.
No, honestly, Letterboxd has been great for me. Just rating them and being like, oh, I like this movie because I watch so many movies like you so quickly that I can watch 10 movies in a week sometimes. I'm like, I don't know what I just watched.
Yeah, I told my buddy Matt the other day, I was like, I probably watch about 4 movies a week that I don't even talk about. And he was like, holy crap, that's insane. But I guess it's just how do you want to spend your time,
Yeah, I go through stages too. Like right now I'm on a big gaming stage, so I've been playing a ton of video games. So my movies have dropped down. Anime is pretty constant in the background for me. And then I'll go on like just a film bender. Yeah.
I feel like you and I've thought about this a couple times. I feel like what we should do is a out of context anime special where you and I hang out like we've always done and watch several anime shows and then do a supercut where it's completely out of context and it's just like a 10-minute episode with all sorts of shit in it,
I would be so down. I feel like that's the best stuff you can find is just weird shit.
Yeah, I think that would be a super cool way of doing it. And I go back from time to time. I watch them. I really enjoy them. I look at the numbers and hope that they will go up so that we can, justify jumping right back into it because I really do
personally,
love that.
That's like, I don't watch any movie stuff. I don't watch any I'm one of those people. I don't watch any movie YouTubers. Sorry, don't do it. That's something that I actually watch, like of our own content. I'm like, I actually enjoy this.
Geisha Warrior, if you're a big fan of anime and you don't mind kind of poking the things that you love a little bit, then go check out our out of context anime series on the channel. It's Caleb and I in animated form watching anime and just kind of
riffing
crap
over it,
yeah.
even though I'm a fan.
Yeah, that's basically all it is. We're just watching it and having a silly time. And I really do enjoy doing it. It's very tedious afterwards, but the fact that we got to hang out and like watch TV is really fun.
Yeah, especially because we're stayed away and we've never done that.
Yeah, no doubt. So we've hit about an hour and 10 minutes, and before we wrap this thing up, I kind of want to turn it over to the chat and ask if any of you guys have any questions or topics that you would like to hear us discuss. I did see that somebody asked a minute ago, what's your favorite, biggest mindfuck movie?
Biggest mindfuck movie? Oh man, I'd have to think about that one.
I know, there are so many. I'm trying to think of ones with crazy twist endings.
I love Brazil is one that pops into my mind right away.
Really good
a weirder
choice.
movie.
That's a really good choice. 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys, another Terry Gilliam.
Yeah, yeah.
Gilliam, however the hell you say it. Yeah, that's the first one popped in my head. At the time, Fight Club was one that I didn't see coming, but I feel like that's become kind of a trope now. And that like, oh, he's crazy at the end is kind of common.
Matt Lane Fitness in the chat. What's up, Matt? Did you see you're a moderator now, by the way? Ain't that something? Oh, look at that. Super chat from Matt Lane Fitness. Love you guys. Keep it going. Thank you very much, Matt. I always appreciate when Matt stops by to say what's up. I try to make it to all of his live streams as well. That's my bro, though, man. Thank you very much, Matt. I appreciate that. So other mindfuck movies. I mean, Seven, dude. What's in the box? That one got me.
I'm trying to think of like, I'm just Googled them. I know there's so many. Like the first thing popped in was Brazil, like just a weird one. Oh, Existence.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I love Existence.
Is that Cronenberg?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was. Oh, McLovin said Shutter Island, and that's a really good choice as well.
Shutter Island. I'm trying to think of other just ones. There's so many.
Have you seen A Tale of Two Sisters, the South Korean ghost movie?
When it came out.
That one's really good. That one's really good. It's very similar to Shutter Island.
Memento's another kind of weird, like different one.
Good one, dude. Hell yeah. That's a really good one.
I think
the one that I wouldn't really go ahead.
Dark City. I love Dark City.
Yeah, I need to go back and revisit that one. Because I haven't seen it since it came out, but I know it's the guy that directed The Crow.
This isn't one of my personal ones, but I feel like people are probably like, there's people out there who this is their favorite. Donnie Darko.
I see that McLovin threw that one out in the chat, so that's a very good call. That's a really good call. Hereditary, when it hits that halfway point, that's a definite swerve. I was shocked.
It's a lack of a swerve, if anything.
It's a good point. Maybe should have swerved a little harder. Yeah. Dude, there was one I was just thinking about, and it's not really like a traditional mind fuck because whatever the thing happens is like in the middle of the movie. Oh, I don't want to say anything more than what I accidentally just said, but if you guys have not seen One Cut of the Dead, the Japanese zombie movie, I highly recommend it.
Need to watch it this weekend.
It's so good, dude. It is something special for sure. McLovin says Hereditary fucked me up. I agree. I mean, when I went and saw it in the theater, I was shook, and then I went and saw it a second time in the theaters, and all the people in the theater were laughing at it, and I was like,
that was me. I remember you were like, check this out, and I watched it, and I was like, I thought it was comical.
It's because I told you it was good, so you just had to laugh at it.
No, I literally. I think his follow-up is his follow-up one about where it takes place in light. Midsummer I think is in vast improvement.
Yeah, I mean that one's really good too.
It's weird. I hated Hereditary. Huge fan of his work though, because of like sometimes I'll hate a movie and be like, I really like the director though.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there are several Ari Aster short films that are available online, and they are all so messed up, dude. Like they're crazy. A
mindfuck movie that came up on this list that I finally saw probably a year ago, and it just didn't hit me the way everybody else did, was Black Swan.
Yeah, I don't see that as a crazy twist, but I like that movie. You weren't a fan, huh? Just not really a fan.
Like everyone told me to watch it. Maybe that was one that was so hyped up that it probably would have been better.
Of course, the Sixth Sense is
yeah.
Oh, Usual Suspects, Kaiser Soze.
That's a great one.
I'm just going through a list now at this point, like you're doing, and I think that's probably the best way to do it because I can't remember stuff.
No, me either.
Old Boy, bro. Oh man, the ending of Old Boy.
Yeah, are we talking original or new?
I think never saw both the same, but I've only seen the original.
Yeah, me too. That was interesting to say the least.
Yeah. It's so cruel, so cruel. Identity with Cusack.
I've actually never seen that film.
It's all right. It's not great, but it's pretty good. Sleepaway Camp came up on the list. That was a pretty big shocker at the time that it was released. Oh, The Crying Game.
I know the twist of this. I've never seen the film myself.
That one through a lot of audiences as well. Let's see. The Machinist is a good one.
Machinist is incredible. Can't believe I didn't think of that.
Anything David Lynch has ever done.
Yeah, pretty much that's his catalog.
His whole MO is just fucking with you, man. I don't know what any of it means.
Predestination keeps coming up on the list. I never saw it.
I haven't either.
It kind of makes me want to see it, though.
Somebody said Butterfly Effect in there. That's a good choice. That's A Life to Die For. Yeah. Butterfly Effect is a good one. It's definitely got a crazy twist at the end. Oh, Pastor in the house. What's up, Snap? Keep videos on lunch break. Thank you very much for stopping by, my bro. Man, I love seeing that crew in here. That's so nice, dude. So nice. A Life to Die For says I liked Black Swan, but it was a bit too effed up for me. That's understandable for sure. Train Spotting.
My favorite. I have my number one.
Go ahead.
That just Perfect Blue.
What?
Perfect Blue is my
anime?
favorite. Yeah, it's from 1997. Satoshi Kon. It is incredible. Satoshi Kon is. I do not think it's the respect he deserves. He made a movie that was pretty much Inception before Inception. Like, he's just done so many crazy things. Yes, my number one by a mile is Perfect Blue.
I need to watch that. I definitely need to check that out.
Another one, Goodnight Mommy. I always talk about this movie.
Oh, dude, yeah, that one. That one's another one similar to Hereditary. That is just dark, dude. Holy crap.
It is dark. I love that. That was a movie I hated for 90% of the movie. And then it ends, and I'm like, I love this movie. It's so incredible.
It's really good. Oh, hey, did you see The Lodge that came out just earlier this year?
No, I never saw it, but I know which one you're talking about.
It's on Hulu. It's really good, dude. It's really good.
I am. Yeah, no, this isn't the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of The Ritual. I was mixing those two up.
Oh, that was a good one. The one in the woods with the four buddies.
Yeah, that one's a cool one. The Lodge. It's on Hulu, so I'll watch it. Or I'll buy it when it comes off Hulu, realistically.
Yeah, and just wait until you can't stream it for free anymore.
Yeah. That's what always happens is I'm always like, man, I really want to see this right now. And then it's off everything. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm buying it.
Okay, Holden. Jamie Foxx, the question that everybody's asking is what his actual role is going to be in Spider-Man 3. But he was just now cast to join the cast, obviously, for Spider-Man 3, and it's very, very, very heavily implied that he's going to be playing Electro, so I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts about that are. Oh, McLovin's seen Goodnight Mommy, and Edge of Tomorrow's come up a couple times.
Great one. The manga that Edge of Tomorrow is based on is really good, too.
All You Need Is a Kill? What is it called?
Yeah,
All You Need Is Kill?
Something like that. I don't know. I've read it a long time ago. Well, like when the movie came out, because then it was released.
Let's see if I can come up with one more mindfuck movie. I really do feel like you could just watch any David Lynch movie like Mulholland Drive.
This is like my favorite genre. If I had to pick a genre, this is it. Mindfuck genre is my favorite.
They are fun, but then do you feel like the rewatchability suffers if they're like that?
Well, I don't rewatch movies. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you just said that.
Yeah, so I very rarely do. If I do, it's like Ninja Turtles or something that I can just kind of mindlessly put on.
So dude, I have several of those. Like Godzilla King of the Monsters, I've probably seen that movie, I don't know, 20 times.
The new one or the original?
The new one.
Okay.
I've seen the 54 one a whole shitload of times as well. Actually, 56 is when America released King of the Monsters. Gojira was released in 54 over in Japan. But yeah, I've seen both those a shitload of times. The Mist keeps coming up, but it's not a twist ending.
Sometimes I feel like some of these, I think you can have a mindfuck without a twist ending.
Agreed. Okay.
I still wouldn't put Mist in that category, though.
Right. Like Mulholland Drive, it's not about a twist ending. It's just the whole thing. Yes. You're like, what is even going? Oh, dude, Tenet that I just now saw. That is a very, very hard to follow and ambiguous movie. So
It's probably the most excited I've been about one of his films since Memento.
let's see. Pastor brought up Eden Lake. I haven't seen that one. There is one called Lake Mungo. That's really good. Let's see. Pastor also said, I love how deep fakes serve as a maybe this will work logic. I'm curious about that. I mean, it kind of sounds like what we were talking about with Spider-Man. Let's see.
Eden Lake has Michael Fassbender in it. Never
Does
even heard
it?
of it. Yeah.
Okay, we need to check that one out. The
Yeah,
Lighthouse.
I like The Lighthouse.
Patrick McCabe, that's a good suggestion. Holden says, would Memento count? Absolutely, man.
Absolutely. One of the top tier ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, The Lobster and what's his other
Killing
movie?
of Sacred Deer.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that. You told me to. Would you say that those fit in this category?
Yes, absolutely.
Dude, I really
saw-
need to watch that.
I saw both of them in an empty theater where it was like a private screening. It was a giant screen and I was the only one there.
Really?
Yeah, no one went to it when I went. I went opening night to Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Snapkeep brings up The Visit. I think that is a pretty decent twist ending.
I
for sure.
love The Visit. I think it's criminally underrated.
Would you say you prefer it to Split?
So Split's my least favorite of his comic book trilogy. By
What?
far.
Get out, dude.
Yes.
That is the best
Untouchable.
one.
Unbreakable's the best.
Nah, dude. Wrong.
Dude, Unbreakable
Nah.
is way better, and then Glass is better, and then Split. Split is it's the most traditional film.
Glass is better than Split.
Yeah, because Split's just a like traditional film. Like there's nothing interesting about it.
All right.
The three that
And
doesn't fit the tone.
You're the weird one out of the two, man. And on that note, I think we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up. Thank you guys very much for stopping by to check out this episode of Movies Are Terrible Live. I really enjoy doing this, and it is so much of a pleasure to have people in the chat that are actually engaging and being a part of the conversation. So I do want to thank you guys very much for stopping by to have this discussion with us. No matter what the discussion is, you can be sure for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking horror films. Matt wants to know what it's like to have a stream go so smoothly. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. It doesn't always. If you go back and listen to the last episode, it got real echoey. But that was my fault, 100%. But it is nice, dude. I got a message just a little bit ago, like a error code on YouTube saying you're dropping frames. It's not a smooth stream, and I was like, oh crap. So I made sure to check with everybody and realize we're at least pretty good, but I appreciate you asking about that. I appreciate you asking, man. You guys are awesome. Tyler Adams brought up Splice, where the girl becomes.
Movie.
It is weird. It's very weird. Anything else that you want to say before we wrap this up, Caleb?
Yes, go watch. I totally forgot this. I was going to tell you before. On Hulu, the 2011 Thundercats show is awesome.
Oh, really?
Awesome. And it's also by one of my favorite animation studios, Studio 4C, which I was shocked when I saw that pop up. But it took Thundercats and put it in a Lord of the Rings epic backdrop.
All in. How do I watch it?
Really good.
How do I watch it?
Hulu.
Okay. Dude, I'm all over that. All right, guys, thank you very much. Check down in the description. I will post links to social media, to the P.O. Box, to my Patreon. If you guys want to consider contributing to the channel, please make sure to head over and check out the Patreon page. Take a look at the tiers and decide which one could potentially be right for you. And then when the time's right or when you have a little bit of extra money and you want to help content creators, consider subscribing. I'm Jeremy, and until next time, and on behalf of both of us, be terrible. Peace.